Derek's fingers crushed into Emily's forearm like a vice. White marks bloomed under his grip. She gasped, twisted, tried to pull away. The October dusk cast long shadows across the Oakland Elementary School parking lot, empty except for their two cars and the spreading silence that followed screaming. Her arm throbbed. Derek leaned closer, his breath hot against her face. "You embarrass me in front of, please," she whispered. Across the asphalt, footsteps, steady, deliberate. Bruce Lee had been walking toward his car, keys jingling in his hand when he heard the cry. His jaw muscles tightened. He stopped mid-stride. Derek's knuckles were white now, matching the marks on Emily's skin. She twisted again, but his grip only deepened. A whimper escaped her throat. Bruce's keys went silent in his closed fist. He turned, watched Derek tower over Emily, watched her shrink against the car door, watched the way her free hand trembled as it searched for the handle behind her. The parking lot stretched between them, 20 yards of cracked asphalt and fading sunlight. Bruce's shoulders squared. He began walking toward them, and everything that would follow hung in the space between his steps and Derek's rage. Bruce's footsteps scraped across asphalt, deliberate and unhurried. The distance closed, 10 feet, 5. Let her go. Derek's head snapped around. His eyes went wild, cornered and defensive. Emily's breath hitched as his fingers dug deeper into her arm. "Mind your business." Derek's voice cracked through the empty lot. "This is between me and my wife." Bruce stopped 3 feet away. His shoulders stayed loose, hands open at his sides, but his voice dropped lower, quieter, more surgical. "You are hurting her. Let her go." Derek's knuckles whitened. The grip tightened first. Emily whimpered, then his hand jerked open. She stumbled backward, clutching her reddened forearm, the white finger marks already blooming into bruises. Derek's chest heaved, his fists clenched. He turned fully toward Bruce now, away from Emily entirely. The rage needed somewhere to land. "Who the hell do you think?" Bruce did not retreat, did not blink. The parking lot seemed to shrink around them, dusk shadows deepening between the cars. Derek stepped forward, 6 feet tall. 200 pounds, every muscle coiled with humiliation and fury, and Bruce stood perfectly still, waiting for what came next. Derek closed the distance in 3 strides. His chest slammed into Bruce's, forcing them inches apart. The smell of stale coffee and sweat rolled off him in waves. Bruce's heels stayed planted, not a backward step, not a flinch. "Who the hell are you?" Derek's voice scraped raw, spit flecking the air between them. Bruce's eyes never wavered. "Someone who will not watch you hurt her." The parking lot stretched silent around them. A distant car horn bleated somewhere beyond the fence. Emily stood frozen near her vehicle, one hand pressed against her bruised forearm. Derek leaned in closer, his breath hot and fast against Bruce's face. 200 pounds of rage looking for permission to explode. "You want to be a hero?" Bruce's jaw tightened, but his voice remained surgical. "I want you to make a choice." "A choice?" Derek barked a bitter laugh. His fists curled tight at his sides, knuckles blanching white. "Between what happens in the next 10 seconds and what your daughter remembers for the rest of her life." Derek's pupils dilated. His breath hitched, and that was the moment everything could shatter. Derek's fists clenched, knuckles bleached white against the fading October light. Bruce's voice stayed low, surgical in its precision. "Your wife is watching. Your daughter might be inside that building. What do you want them to see right now?" The words sliced through rage like a blade through silk. Derek's jaw worked, his shoulders trembled. Emily stood frozen near her car, arms wrapped tight around herself, eyes locked on the 2 men. Bruce continued without raising his voice. "You can hit me, maybe you land one, then what?" The parking lot stretched empty around them. Asphalt still held the day's warmth beneath their feet. Derek's breath came fast, ragged. Bruce tilted his head slightly. "Arrested in front of your family, handcuffs while your daughter watches. You prove you solve problems with violence." Something flickered across Derek's face. "Not surrender, not yet." Or, Bruce's tone shifted, softer now, offering a bridge. "You walk away, calm down, talk like an adult." Derek's right fist began to rise, muscles coiled. Emily's gasp broke the silence. Few could understand the choice tearing through Derek in that moment, the war between proving dominance and preserving what little remained of the man his daughter still believed him to be. His fist hovered between them, trembling in the dying light. Derek's chest heaved, in, out. The October air tasted of exhaust and cooling asphalt. His fist trembled at his side, caught between the urge to swing and the weight of Bruce's words pressing down on him like concrete. Every breath burned hot in his throat. Bruce's voice cut through the dusk, calm as still water. You prove you solve problems with violence, or you walk away, calm down, and talk like an adult. The question hung there. Derek's jaw clenched, his knuckles whitened. The parking lot around them felt vast and empty, witness to nothing but his shame. Bruce stood rooted, hands open, no fear in his eyes, just waiting. Then Emily's voice cracked the silence. "Derek, please," quiet, desperate, "just go." Her words landed harder than any fist. Derek blinked, his wife's face blurred at the edge of his vision, tears glistening on her cheeks. His daughter might be watching from somewhere behind those school windows, watching what kind of man he was. His fist loosened, but the rage still burned beneath his ribs, demanding release. What he did next would define everything. Silence, no cars, no voices, just breath. Derek stared into Bruce's eyes, hunting for something, anything, a flicker of doubt, a tremor of fear, a sign this man might break. Nothing. Bruce's gaze held steady, dark, and bottomless. His shoulders remained loose, hands open at his sides. The October wind stirred his collar. He did not shift his weight, did not tense, did not prepare to strike. Few could understand the weight of such stillness. The suffocating pressure of a choice made visible. Derek's nostrils flared, his jaw muscles bunched beneath stubbled skin. The fist at his side, the one that had been ready, hungry, began to open, finger by finger, tendons releasing. Knuckles softening from white to pink. Behind him, Emily's breath caught in her throat. The sun slipped below the school roofline, stretching their shadows long and distorted across the cracked asphalt. Derek's hand fell completely open. Bruce waited. Derek's boots scraped against the pavement. One step back, then another. He turned. Emily's eyes went wide. He walked toward his car, spine rigid, fists clenched again, but this time against himself. The door opened. The engine roared, but what happened in the next 60 seconds would determine if this choice held or shattered completely. Derek yanked open his car door. The metal screamed against its hinges. The slam echoed across the empty asphalt like a gunshot. The engine roared to life, too loud, too aggressive. Rubber shrieked as he tore out of the parking lot. Taillights bleeding red into the dusk. Then silence. Emily's knees buckled. She collapsed against the hood of her car, palms flat against the cool metal, her shoulders convulsed. Tears came in gasping, uncontrollable waves. The kind of crying that strips away years of holding everything inside. Bruce's footsteps approached, slow, deliberate, non-threatening. "Are you safe?" His voice cut through her sobs like a lifeline. She couldn't look up. Couldn't breathe evenly enough to form words. "Do you have somewhere to go?" Emily nodded against the hood, hair falling across her wet face. My sister's house," she choked out. "Ruth. She lives. Does he know where she lives?" The question landed like ice water. Emily's head snapped up, her eyes widened, realization spreading across her tear-streaked face. Ruth's address. Derek had been there for Thanksgiving. For Lucia's last birthday party. He knew exactly where Ruth lived, and nothing, absolutely nothing, would stop him from going there next. Bruce did not move toward his car. "Good, and if he shows up there, you call the police." His voice cut through her shaking breaths like a compass needle finding north. "What I just did was temporary. You need permanent safety." He pulled a pen from his jacket pocket, searched the asphalt until he found a receipt someone had dropped. The paper crinkled as he pressed it against the hood of her car, scribbling numbers with deliberate clarity. Emily watched his hand move, steady, unhurried. He held the scrap toward her. "Women's shelter, 24 hours. They have lawyers, protection orders, safe beds." Her fingers trembled as she took it. The paper felt impossibly light. yet heavier than anything she had ever carried. She clutched it against her chest. "How long will you stay?" Bruce glanced toward the school entrance, then back at her. "Until your sister arrives." The parking lot lights flickered on overhead, casting long shadows across the empty asphalt. A cold October wind swept through, carrying the scent of distant rain. Emily shivered. Bruce stood between her car and the street, a human wall against whatever might return. Headlights swept into the lot 20 minutes later. Ruth's sedan pulled alongside, tires crunching gravel. Emily stumbled toward the passenger door. Ruth's eyes found Bruce, questioning, protective. He nodded once. The sisters drove into the darkness, taillights fading like dying embers. Bruce remained motionless, keys still in his hand, wondering if Derek was watching from some hidden corner, already planning his next move. 3 months later, Emily pushed open the door to Bruce Lee's martial arts school. The wooden floor creaked beneath her shoes. The scent of training mats, sharp, earthy, filled her lungs. Students moved through forms across the room, their footfalls rhythmic and precise. Bruce turned from the class. He recognized her immediately. She walked toward him, spine straight. Her eyes were clear now, no shadows beneath them. "I left Derek," she said. "Got a restraining order. Lucia and we're rebuilding." Bruce nodded once, waited. Emily's voice dropped lower, the words harder to shape. "You could have fought him that night. Part of me wanted you to." The confession hung between them. "But you did not," she continued. "You de-escalated. You showed my daughter," her breath caught. "You showed Lucia that problems do not have to end in violence." Bruce's hands remained folded at his waist. His expression stayed calm, thoughtful. Emily wondered if he understood the weight of what she was saying, the magnitude of the lesson he had given without knowing. What she did not yet realize was that Bruce had spent years learning something far more difficult than any strike. Her voice steadied, stronger than that night in the parking lot. "That lesson saved us, both of us." Bruce nodded slowly, his hands folded in his lap, calloused palms resting against each other. "I spent years learning how to fight. The most important lesson was learning when not to." The words hung in the air between them. Dust motes drifted through afternoon light, streaming through the Quoon windows. Somewhere in the back room, a heavy bag creaked on its chain. Emily smiled. The kind of smile few could recognize unless they had walked through fire and emerged whole. "My daughter is safe now. She does not flinch when doors slam. She does not hide when voices rise." Bruce's expression remained calm, but something softened in his eyes. "That is the victory." She stood, smoothing her coat. "The legacy is not in the punch thrown, but in the punch withheld. You taught me that." He rose with her. "True strength is restraint." Emily extended her hand. Bruce shook it, firm, warm, a bridge between two people who understood survival. She walked toward the door, shoulders back, head high. The woman who had trembled against a car hood 3 months ago no longer existed. In her place stood someone unbreakable.